So today's going to be an experiment, as they usually are. Um, we are joined by other members of the Cocharia marketing team. And today we're going to do a social media spring cleaning type session where we are going to first do a bit of a crash course overview on the socials, which I know that this comes up a lot, but increasingly, especially in COVID times where everything happens online, social media is becoming more and more important. So frankly, we all have a lot to learn, including me. Or I have a lot to put in practice, maybe that I already know. I don't know, both of those. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a bit of an overview. And then my lovely team who is joining me here today is going to poke and prod my social media so that we can all see how we can all improve. What are some actionable steps that we can all take after our webinar to increase our individual or our business or our businesses brand awareness, social media presence, engagement, etc. And hopefully we'll all feel a bit better about ourselves when we see how many mistakes I'm making. And I've literally been on every social network since they existed. So if I don't know what I'm doing, it's okay if you don't know what you're doing. So before I start this little presentation, I'm going to put in a link in the chat. So please take a look. And I'm going to share screen. Please go to this link either on your computer or you can scan it with your phone. There's a QR code there. It's a little Mentimeter link. Please tell us which social media you currently use for your business. And I'm going to find that link so that I can share it on screen. And as you're doing that, as you're voting, and as I'm trying to figure out how to present this on screen, my panelists, can you please just go through and introduce yourselves and tell us who you are and why you're here?
Okay, I think I'll go first. Hi, my name is Nupur. I am the content manager here at Cocharia, and today we're talking about social media, something that I and all of us actually have been handling to an extent, and we are just going to talk about it, and we are going to look at Magda's profile and see how we can improve it.
Okay, I'll go next. Hi, everyone. I'm Shanaya Samtani. I am the social media coordinator here at Cocharia. And as Nupur previously mentioned, today we are just going to do an overview of social media in general and how all of us can improve our skills and just better ourselves in order to help create more engagement online. And I hope you enjoy this.
I'm next. So hi everyone, I am Sylvester Jacob. I'm the video editor at Cocharia right now. And today, like these guys already explained, we'll be looking at different social media profiles and how we can improve the engagement and all this stuff, sort of. Okay.
Awesome. So only a few have voted. So we're going to ask you, please, if you're just joining us, please take a look at the chat of this, whatchamacallit, and click on the link. It's the menti.com link. Click on that. It should open in a new window. And when you get to that page, please let us know what social media do you use for your business. And please select as many as possible, as many as are relevant to you. And when we say your business, we mean whatever profession thing brings you here today. So, if you're an independent coach and it's just you, that's what we mean, your business. So what are you doing to tell the world about what you do? So I'll give it another minute. Says code could not be found. I don't know. Can you so those of you having trouble, see on the screen right now, it says go to menti.com and then put in the code 5767127. That should also get you to this little poll. but the link that I pasted should work. So apologies if someone's having trouble. But yeah, so far it's not looking very surprising. It's looking like most of you are using LinkedIn to promote your business. It looks like about a quarter of you are using Facebook, and then just a little bit of Instagram, a little bit of Twitter. Which, oh, someone's using other. I want to hear what other is. Okay, I'm going to please share the link again. Okay, the link is shared again in chat, so please hop on there. So yeah, this is interesting for a few reasons. I mean, it does kind of mirror what I thought was going to happen, because most of us here were coaches or consultants or facilitators. We work with professionals, so it makes sense that LinkedIn is the #1 thing here, because that's where professionals live. So happy days, good job. Facebook, I also am not super surprised, because there's a lot of stuff happening on Facebook. And although my lovely colleagues here are a tiny bit younger, those of us who are, 35, I would say, and above, most of us do engage on Facebook. I personally stopped recently because it was breaking my heart and making me anxious and doing negative things for me, so I stopped. But for Kocharya, we still definitely use it. So Facebook makes sense to me. Twitter is a place where I think a lot of us should be, and we aren't. So kind of good to see that not many using Twitter, but also bad, because that means we're not leveraging it. And Instagram's a funny one. I'm still in two minds about that one, because I'm on it all the time. But it's a great way to build brand and engagement, but does it convert? Don't know yet. Anyway, so I'll keep this going. If anybody else joins, please hop on to this Menti, and I will revisit this at the end of the webinar to see if the results have changed. And off we'll go. Cool, so I'll stop sharing this one. All right, so I'll reshare the screen on the presentation. So this webinar series, first Wednesday of the month, used to be called Business of Coaching. And then, because we thought, we noticed that there was a bit more than just business that was being addressed here. It was about well-being of coaches and just, actually being a coach, like physically being in that profession. That was coming up a lot. So we changed the webinar title to Being a Coach, which I think confused some people. So the name may change again. But what we thought would be cool for the next few first Wednesday webinars is to kind of deep dive into the #1 thing that everyone cares about, which is growing the thing that you do, growing your business, growing your brand, getting more leads. So this is the plan that we have for the next few months. And I would be very grateful if you would leave your comments in the chat to let us know whether this would be helpful, whether there's something major missing, whether we should do them in different order. This is just kind of a, straw man. You tell us. We want this session to be valuable to you. But in order to make it valuable to you, we need to use examples. So through these next few sessions, what we will do is we're going to use me, and in some cases, Kocharya, to illustrate what can be done, what's possible, and maybe what isn't working. I have been active on socials, like I said, for a very long time, but I'm failing in a lot of places. So today, we're going to look at my social media, and we're going to explore whether it's serving me, whether it's serving Kocharya. I mean, what's it doing, and what should I be doing better? So as the weeks go by, it would be great if my lovely team here would hold me accountable for anything that I agree to during these sessions. And let's see what effect it has. Let's see if my, account grows, its influence grows. And that's important, obviously, for Kocharya. But one thing that I'm doing as well on this side is I'm working on a book, like a lot of people like to do. When there's lots of things in our heads, we want to share it with the world. So I want to share what's in my head with the world. And I kind of want someone to read it once I do it. So this will be helpful to help me figure out how to get the book out there when actually it is out there. So the plan today, social media and a spring cleanup. Then next session, the lovely Sylvester, who is actually a marketing teacher as well, as a videographer for Kocharia. He will lead us through a session on local marketing, which we thought was super relevant to most of you, because even though we live in a borderless international global world, most of us do our business centers around a particular geographic area. So we thought local marketing would be especially relevant. Then the next session after that, we're going to dive into online advertising, because it's something that seems very, very expensive, but it actually can be quite affordable and scalable if you do it right. So we will dive into that. And the last session, the fourth session, I will try to do my best to make it easy to understand search engine optimization, so that those of you who are relying on website traffic can learn some practical steps on how to improve that. And after that, who knows? Ideas welcome, bring them forward. So today, every small business needs social media. It's just a fact of life. Before, it used to be you need a business card, you need a phone number. Nowadays, you need social media, whether you like it or not. What that means is different to different people. How it's used is different, but we all need it in some shape or form. And on that note, I'm going to hand over to my team, who's going to be handling the next few slides, and I will interject when I have something useful to say. So who's up?
Magda, do you mind just scrolling back to the previous slide, please?
I can.
Thank you. Yes, so, a lot of people were to ask, why does a brand need social media today? Because a lot of companies, they already have email lists. They use phone calls, text messages. But the truth of the matter is that in the world that we're living in today, small businesses just cannot afford to ignore social media, especially in the times we are in today with COVID everywhere, where everyone's indoors, nobody's stepping out of their house. With social media, you can reach this whole other platform out there, this whole other community, this whole other audience that you otherwise wouldn't necessarily have access to. It helps you communicate better, a whole lot better. It helps you understand your customers. I know, I'm sure for everyone who does use social media, everyone at least logs onto one of those social media apps or sites at least once a day. Having your brand on there, having your business on that platform helps instill your brand in the minds of your audience, in the minds of customers. It helps have that recollection that you want your customers to have. You want them to be able to remember your brand when they associate you with your particular topic or your particular service. There are so many benefits of why your brand should be on social media. There's, of course, brand awareness, engagement. It helps you stay in the minds of people. So just to conclude, of course, in today's world, every small business needs to optimize the opportunity that social media is giving you to help expand your brand. Yes, moving on.
I think I agree with Shanaya. So if you personally have social media accounts, you know that it works. You have scrolled through these, through various business platforms, whatever you're into that you like, and you know that it works, especially if you are engaging with their content. So these are just a few numbers that can explain to you why it is really important to have your brands showcased on social media platforms. Anyone else who wants to add into this, please go ahead. I personally feel that it's very important because it's, at the end of the day, according to me, where there are eyeballs, you need to make sure that you are there because people are watching you and you never know where your next client or your coachee or whatever business you're into is coming from. So visibility is a very important factor, and that's why social media at this point is truly important when it comes to engaging your audience.
I'll add something. It's not just that it's important. Your customers are looking for you. There's no question about it. They are going to look for you whether you are doing something or not. So you have two choices. You can let them find whatever maybe somebody else is about you or find nothing, or they can find things that you want them to know. So if you're not active on social media, they're going to find nothing. Or they maybe will find the one person that really doesn't like you and has written something about you that maybe isn't true. But you know what? That's all there is. So that's all they're going to see. So that's why I think it's a must. Because otherwise, you're actually doing yourself a disservice. It's not a missed opportunity. You're actually hurting yourself.
Yeah. Especially nowadays.
Should I go on to the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying that nowadays everyone probably checks about what they're getting into. I mean, you read reviews, you read things about people. So in a way, like Magda, you said initially, it is your business card to an extent. It is what people are going to see or notice before you actually decide to choose or decide to take service from someone. So talking about promotion and engagement. So promotion is probably how you're putting your business out there. Uh, in a way, how do you want people to know, or what are you doing to make sure that people know about you, about the services that you're offering? And engagement, on the other hand, would be how how you come to know how people are interacting with what you are putting out there. Am I right or am I right?
You're right, but also engagement's a bit more than that. So promotion is, yeah, here's what we offer. Here's how you can become our customer. And engagement isn't necessarily linked to products, right? So Coacharia is offering a group coaching program. Come join us, promotion. Versus engagement would be like we do a Zen Mondays series, something that a prompt to reflect on a particular Zen saying. So not everything you post on social media needs to be, look at me, buy from me. It can also be things that are relevant to your audience to start a conversation. So in this particular case, I see what Nupur has done. She's taken the analytics from that particular post. It's a promotional post. So you can see that it had lots of likes, which is great, but it only had 4 comments. And I suspect one of those comments was actually us putting hashtags in there. So there isn't that much engagement in this one, but that's okay, because the goal of this particular post wasn't, let's interact and talk about what is group coaching. The point of the post was to share Coacharia is doing a group coaching program, which, by the way, if you're in the audience and you're a coach, you should join because it's going to be awesome. Michael Cullen is teaching it and he's amazing. See promotion. But instead, this was about how do you use group coaching in your coaching practice. That would have been engagement. We're not asking anyone to click through. We're not telling them to buy anything. We're just asking to tell us, like, sure, we want to know what you think. Next slide. Yes, no?
Yeah, so another reason why I put this, because these are sort of the parameters, how you can figure out your engagement on various platforms. Like likes is one of them, whichever platform you are, but whether you're getting saves, whether they're getting shared, whether people are visiting your profile. That's another great way of knowing how much people are interested in what you're doing and how many people you're actually reaching, which you can do through hashtags and things. Yeah, basically through hashtags and tagging places.
And so, by the way, in a few slides, Shania is going to give us some actionable tips that everybody can take. So if you're itching for that, you'll get in a second. But request as well, this webinar is for all of you guys. The goal of it is to help everybody grow their businesses, grow coaching worldwide. So if there are particular social networks that you want us to deep dive into and actually go through, metrics, etc., tell us, and we can do a whole session literally on this little screenshot with metrics. Because there's a lot to learn there, but it could be a waste of time for some people, and for others it'll go over their heads. So tell us what you want us to do. And on that note, someone in comments asked about Clubhouse. You're curious to know more about it. I just started using Clubhouse. I literally got access like a week ago, and I have not figured it out yet. But the way that I see it is that it's a way for you to be a more active participant in content versus just listening to a podcast, right? So Clubhouse is all around, people having conversations on particular topics. And I'm not a fan of it because that's not how I consume information. I like going for a walk and listening to a podcast or a webinar. I like sitting down, I don't know, with a glass of wine by the fireplace, stroking a cat with one hand, glass of wine in the other, and maybe reading on my iPad. And we all have different preferences. So I think Clubhouse is something that definitely addresses a particular kind of media consumption preference. But where it's going to go, I have no idea. And I've heard about security issues there. So my homework for this next month is to learn more about Clubhouse. And once I do, I will happily share in a blog post or in this webinar. But for now, that's all I got. So yes, you can host a Clubhouse event. Yes. So you could, definitely. What I don't know is how to make yourself visible there, right? Because it's already a lot of people are putting stuff in there. And there's a lot of famous people who are hosting events, hosting chats on there. So I don't know yet how your small brand could break through. But I will investigate and get back to you. So who's doing this slide?
Okay, that's me. Hi, everyone. So I'm Jacob. So basically, I'll be discussing about, setting your business before on social media before you actually start up actually. So in this particular scenario, it's almost like starting your own business. When you were a coach, you just passed out, you just cleared your PCC, if I'm not wrong, and you were going to coaching. The same mentality you had at that time has to be followed here. Like, who will be your client? Why are they your client? How can you help them? What are their problems? You'll be looking at those factors and then creating a strategy and setting up your campaign ideas or posts, etc., on those particular strategies. Like, for example, I'm taking the example of a fitness coach. So suppose you are a fitness coach, okay? And you are starting up as a fitness coach and you're starting up your social media sites, websites, or pages. So now your target audience for that particular activity will be a person who is interested in fitness or staying healthy. Okay, a person who is, who is like want to stay healthy or fit. So now we are in a day and age where most of the population is a working population. So they don't have time to go to gyms, etc. So that is their problem. You have identified their problem. Now your next step would be how to, capitalize on that particular problem. So you could say like, I can give you instructions, I can give you diet plans, or I can give you weekly challenges that you have to complete. And then you can, promote those particular things. And then later on, you can do things like, suppose, why should they select you? Like, you can create your own USP, like unique selling point, wherein you can say like, basic trainers, when they give you fitness regimes or training exercises that can at times harm your body. So when you are a fitness coach, you'll be more aware of what the person actually wants than what the person actually needs. And based on that, you can set your programs, practices, and your regimes. So in that way, you'll have a better and longer relationship with the client. Also, the improvements will be long lasting than compared to a fitness coach. No, fitness trainer, sorry. So moving on to the next slide, that is how you define your goals and how you set them. So your goals, like for every individual, like depending on the person, the goals will be different. So some might be an overachiever, like bigger goals might be something they strive for and they can complete it in a very short period of time. Okay. So they can complete it in a very short period of time. But for some people, that is too much to achieve. So based on your capacity, you have to set the goals. They should be realistic, they should be achievable, and they should be measurable. So that's how you move on to your next topic, that is SMART goals. That is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time oriented. So here I'll need Magda's help actually, because I might get into too much of specifics, and I want you to stop if I do that. Stop me if I do. Okay. So, like we are getting the example of social media, right? So, since now we are discussing about it, in specific goals, your goal should be like, very specific. Like, for example, you want to promote your business, or you want to get more engagement on your platform so that people will know you, or you have to create opportunities or tie up with other people. In such scenarios, your goals are specific. It shouldn't be something like, yeah, I want to be active on all the social platforms, not something that is just out there just to do things. So when it is
Hashtag
specific,
influencer.
what I said?
Hashtag influencer, I said.
Ah. So when they are specific, you have a steady plan. You can work according to those plans. Then next comes how you measure your goals. Like now, your goal was to get more customers or get more engagement. So with every post or with every story that you post, you get the statistics. Like these many people viewed it. These many people were engaging to it. So based on that, you can either improve your post or improve your campaigns, etc, or you can drag it little down so that it will meet people demands and they can understand it better. Then comes the next step, that is attainable. So so when it is attainable, it's like some people will be like, in like next month I want a lakh of followers, or in next month I'll having post that gets more than 1,000 2,000 reach. So those are attainable, but in a long run. So for a short run, you should make goals like, I'm posting these many posts. On these many posts, I want these many engagements. And setting those small goals which are attainable, you get the satisfaction of attaining that goal, and you'll be more engaged in the social media platforms and improving your business in the long run. Okay, then comes your relevant point. Relevancy is it's like for every person, they have certain values of their own. They have their core values. Like people will be promoting those core values, etc. So your values should be shown in your post. Like for example, Kocharya, we are like very open, we are very friendly. Those are our core values. So our post will also be something like that. Like, see, we did this, we have achieved this. This is what we are. It's not, instead of showing off, we could promote it in a very friendly manner and get a good relationship and build good relationship with the clients, with our followers, with the people who are engaging in our posts. Lastly is time oriented. So you have set your goals, you should have a time to reach that goal. Like in 1 month I have to grow by this, in 1 month I have to do this. So if it is time oriented, you will be more focused, you will be more attracted and more concise whenever you are planning your post, whenever you're planning your stories or anything. So I guess
So
that's it.
I have something to add on this one. So with social media, all of you guys are coaches, so you're familiar with working on goals, but social media goals can be a little bit different, a little bit scary. So where I get stuck, and I think a lot of us get stuck, we tend to compare ourselves to other people. And every time that I look, I don't know, like my dog is super freaking cute. Okay. He's next to me. He's adorable, but he only has 66 followers on Instagram. Why am I thinking that way? Who cares? The reason my dog has an Instagram is because I like posting pictures of him And if I posted it all on my Instagram, it would just all be animals. So I should not be thinking, oh my gosh, Sailor needs to have 1,000 followers for me to be happy. Nope, that is not, it's measurable, it's specific, it's not attainable, it's not really relevant to what I'm trying to achieve with Sailor's profile. And also not time oriented, because I didn't say by when I want 1,000 followers. So just whenever you're setting these goals, my tip to you would be to be like really focus on the attainable and as short a time frame as possible, just so you can have these little wins. And every time you have the little win, you'll feel better and you'll want to do more. So maybe my goal should be that Sailor will have 100 followers by end of April. And I think that is attainable. I don't know how relevant it is, because again, I'm not posting for followers. I'm posting because just I love Sailor and I want to show his pictures everywhere. So yeah, don't get bogged down in comparing yourself to others too much, because it's just gonna get you depressed. I'm gonna move on. Shania, over to you, I think. 2 things you can do today.
Okay, so I'm just going to give you all some tips, that you can do like literally right now to, start your spring cleanup. So start off with define your social media voice and tone. Now, what is your social media voice? It's that distinct personality that you hold online on your specific pages. It's basically how you want to come across to your audience. How do you want to come across as professional? Do you want to come across as funny? Do you want to come across as sarcastic? Once you pick that tone of voice and how you want to come across and how you want to put yourself out there, it's a lot easier to to plan your content around that. And now a few points come under this. When you're defining your social media voice and tone, you also need to decide who is it that you are targeting on these platforms. Are you targeting a specific age group, a specific profession, a specific people who have a specific hobby? You need to decide who is it on this platform or on the various platforms, or for your business in general. Who is that particular group of people who you want to target, who you want to get your content out to? The next point is time your postings. I think one of the key methods to getting all your engagement online and to getting maximum amount of likes and comments on your posts are by timing your posts accurately. On social media, when you time your posts accurately, you can get all that engagement. And research has actually shown that around 71% of customers who actually get a reply by a brand, like a fast reply from a brand, are more likely to recommend that brand to others. And I mean, don't we all want that? Don't we all want our brand to be recommended to others? So definitely find the timing and this timing can differ. It's not like it's one specific timing. It can differ for different platforms, for different brands. So that is how you just see what works for you, do some research and time your posts accordingly. Engagement, one of the most important points. Get on there, start a conversation with people on your page in the comment section, host polls, with all the features that social media has made available to us. You have polls, you have question answer sessions, you have live videos. Engagement is so important, not only to interact with your audience, but to also increase your audience, get a wider reach out there. So, join relevant groups on platforms such as LinkedIn. LinkedIn has so many amazing groups where you could, join these groups and get talking about your brand. I'm not saying go and promote your brand nonstop, but, when you go in there, you might find like-minded people who would be interested in what you have to offer. And you could be like, hey, okay, so Coach Arya, for example, hey, you're interested in getting something in Coaching Foundation. Did you know we offer this really great program? Why don't you come join us? Just a little example. Hashtags. Now, hashtags, not only do they help you get your post out to a larger audience, but it also helps you get your posts out to audience who'd actually be interested in what you have to offer. People who are scrolling along the same hashtags that you have chosen for your particular post already shows that they are interested in that particular field or in that particular aspect that you are offering to them. So definitely, yeah, and don't use a million hashtags, just use relevant ones that you believe personally really communicate the message of your brand. And of course, mix up your content. As we mentioned earlier, don't constantly promote, because if you're constantly promoting and selling yourself out there, people are just going to get fed up eventually and probably just unfollow, and nobody wants that. So, use a few examples are you could use topical posts, like for example, Women's Day is coming up. If that is in any way relevant to your brand, make a post about that. Put out motivational posts, share curated content, but the bottom line is, don't just get so tied up in selling yourself out there that you forget to really engage with your audience and take their thoughts. Just know what they want to see. Of course, do promote yourself, but not all the time and every time. Yes.
So there's a couple of questions I just want to address quickly, which both can be a full webinar. So this is good to know. We can make these videos on the side, for example, and share with our community. So we're going to take note. One was on just recent one. Where can we find the list of hashtags? If it's a word that exists, it's a hashtag. If it's a phrase that exists, it's a hashtag. If it's a misspelled word, it's a hashtag. So in terms of which ones are there, basically everything. Which ones are most relevant? I mean, think about what you're posting, right? If a hashtag should describe what you're posting or evoke the emotion you want, or just it has to do with what you are posting, not necessarily just what is the most popular one. So I think it's good to just think about, what am I trying to communicate in terms of both content and emotion and maybe even action in a particular post. And on most of the social media, when you type in the hashtag symbol, and then you start typing in the word that is coming to your mind, you get predictive suggestions along with how popular they are. So most social media, you do have that little help. There's also tools that you can use to do hashtag research, which again, I know of, but I don't use. So hashtag failing. So perhaps as part of my social media cleanup over the next month, I will keep track of these. And as I learn them and as I use them, or as we use them, we can do short videos and share with this group, so you have kind of reference points on these little tidbits. And then the other one was about, oh my gosh, what was it? How do you know it's an appropriate time to share? How long is a piece of string? So again, in your socials, what I encourage you all to do is to look at the analytics or insights, or different social media have different names for this. But each social media medium will have something where you can look at when is your audience active. So if you've been, you need some data in order to get some insights. So let's say you have been posting. You can click on insights on Instagram, for example, and that will show you bit of patterns. It's like people engage with your content usually on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. That's one way of looking at it. If you have a website already, another place that you could look at is your analytics. And by the way, let me know if a Google Analytics crash course would also be helpful, because I can do that too. But on Google Analytics, you have very detailed, and it's a free tool, you have very detailed data as to when people are coming to your site and what are they doing when they come. So you could look at patterns of things like, I get the longest site visits and most site engagement on Wednesday afternoons GMT time. So first thing I would do is take a look at the data that you have, just to see what those tools that you're already using are telling you based on your specific business, person, whatever. Because there's no such thing as everybody should post at 4 p.m. on a Friday. That's not how the world works. So yeah. Shania, do you have any particular tools that you recommend that come to mind for figuring out like when to post?
Okay, I know of a tool on Instagram. I can share
Okay.
that with you. If you have a business page on Instagram, if you go under the settings, there's actually this tool that shows. I think it's actually called it. It's a bar tool. I'll get back with the exact name, but it actually shows you on each day how active your audience is at what particular time. So if you have a business page and you go on and you click suppose Monday, it will actually show you on Monday when your audience is most active.
Yeah, it's showing.
Yeah,
There's one under insights.
Insights, right? It's insights. It comes off kind of like a bar graph, and it shows you exactly at what time your audience is most active.
Cool. So my request is that, look, we're recording this, but I do realize that even as we're talking, like I'm just realizing how much there is to cover in this stuff. So 2 things I would recommend. First of all, look at HubSpot. It's a software, but they have a really, really, really rich content library. So if there's anything specific today where you're like, holy crap, like what are you guys talking about? Chances are HubSpot has a very concise article and or videos on it. So just go to their blog. I highly recommend that for honestly, anything to do with marketing, customer acquisition, anything like that. It's how they grew their business through this kind of content. They're literally experts at it. That's the first thing I recommend. Second thing I recommend is write down your question and email it to magda@coacharya.com, or find me on Magda Makes It on all the socials and send me a message, and we will keep track and we will answer them in a blog, in a webinar, in a whatever. But we are very happy to build a library of stuff for our community, because if you grow, we grow, everybody wins. And frankly, we learn as we try to help you learn. So win-win. And on that note,
So
let's spend we have 15 minutes. Let's critique some stuff.
brilliant. Magda, can we get to know a bit more about you, or how you want to portray yourself on your various social media channels, so that then we can work on it according to that?
Okay, I have several things that I care about, because I'm all over the place. So as you know, professional, I'm the CEO of this company, and it's important to me to make sure that people have a positive impression of me in relation to Coacharya. I am very passionate about growing access to coaching, democratizing coaching, access to knowledge. So I definitely want that to happen. But that's not all that I am. And I was, and Coacharya has only been in my life for 4 years almost, even though it seems like it's been part of me since birth. So other things that matter to me is saving the planet, being kind to animals, eating good food, being kind to each other, and being yourself. I'm sick and tired of preconceptions. I'm always been an open book, and now I'm at a stage of my life where I'm like, you know what, this is it. What you see is what you get, and if you don't like it, that's cool. There's somebody else you like better. But if you want to hang out with me, here's my cat.
That sounds great. Could you just open your social media channel, or anyone, whichever you feel comfortable?
Oh, me? Oh, okay.
So that we can actually start doing something now.
We're going to look at Instagram because I like pictures. And as I'm doing that, someone is asking about what would be the best social media to start for a coach just starting out. I think having a LinkedIn profile is non-negotiable for everybody. And I don't mean necessarily having like, a business page. Literally your own profile, make sure that it's you have your relevant experience on there. So, things you did 10 years ago, if they aren't relevant, yes, of course, list them, because also your resume, but really focus on the things that matter to your coaching. Take advantage of the description on your page, as well as the background picture you get on your page, and use that to communicate about your coaching business. In your profile, make sure that you check open to work, because LinkedIn now has these signaling features where you can say that you're taking on new clients. and join groups that matter to you. Don't just look for, coaches, because all you're going to find is other coaches, which is great, but it's not going to get you clients. So look for groups that interest you and that reflect you as a coach, you as a person, as a professional, and be active in those groups. I think if you start there, you're already going to be in good shape. And depending on what kind of coaching you do and who your clients are. So going back to Sylvester's slide about kind of setting the stage, you really need to know in your own head who you want to attract as your customers. Because if your audience, let's say, is techies who live in San Francisco, so my old crew from 10 years ago, of course they're on LinkedIn because everyone is, but they're more active on Twitter. So you should really be on Twitter and interacting there and engaging there in addition to LinkedIn. If you are a youth coach and you work with, let's say, people under 25, you really should be on Instagram and probably maybe TikTok. I don't know, for a coach, you have to think of like how to present yourself there, but you could. So it really is kind of, horses for courses. Who are you and what kind of customer you're trying to attract? And then where does a customer live? And what do they care about? And interact with them on their own turf. So anyway, that is my take. This is my social. This is my Magda Makes It. Oh yeah, because I sew a lot too. I make stuff. Stop.
Is your profile a business profile as of now? Or is it a private one?
As in, like, in definition of Instagram, yes, it's a business profile.
Okay. Yeah, because this would be one thing that I would probably suggest to everyone, especially if you want to have the analytics. It's better to have a personal profile, which is just yours, and a business profile, which probably, you don't wear sweatpants to work all day, right? There's a reason you don't do that. So you have a place. I mean, not judging on not being this, but there's a reason why we wear formal clothes when you're going to work, because we want to portray ourselves a certain way.
Speak for yourself. I had a meeting with you guys 2 days ago when I was in pajamas.
I think now doesn't count at all. Barring now. But yeah. I'm not making, I guess I'm not making my point here.
Moving on.
Moving on. So yes, get yourself a business profile because it's better. You get to know when people are actually engaging with your content, what is really working for you and what's not really working for you.
What Nupur means, literally, you go to settings and I think it's here. Change password. Where is it? Oh my God. Wow, this is embarrassing. Okay, it's here somewhere. Maybe on the profile. Nope. Okay, guys, this is embarrassing because I can't find it, but I'll find it on my phone. But there's a thingy where your default is that you are a personal profile, and there's another profile called content creator now, and a third type profile that's called business. And by the way, I'm not distracted by my phone. I'm just trying to find the link for you. Oh, that's because the different interface. Sorry. So it is in your settings on your phone. So forget the web version, go on your phone. And I would say choose the business profile because the creator profile, it's a funny one. It's like you get some more tools on the creator profile, and then you get even more tools on the business profile. So I don't know why the creator one exists, frankly, but do the business. Okay. No, these are all free. So the only things you pay on socials would be advertising, which we will do a whole session about. But yeah, creating a business profile on Facebook, on any of them, frankly, on LinkedIn, having a business page, those are all free.
Anyone else?
Just because we are on the same topic, Instagram is very limited when it comes to the PC version. So when you move to the mobile version, you can actually see all the things, like you have the insights that's on your first page itself. And you can easily switch to a business profile just by creating an account, and it will give you the option like convert to a business profile. So you don't have to worry about that part when you are, accessing right now. So just giving the general information.
Cool. We'll do another session when we're looking at the mobile. So tell me what I'm doing wrong.
First of all, you have nothing related to Coacharya written here.
So I was thinking that I should use hashtags because I've read that hashtags will help your profile show up. So that's why I added the hashtags. So you're saying I should have a narrative way of speaking about
Exactly. Because
myself?
think of
Okay.
it, when you meet someone for the first time, like this is literally someone meeting your profile for the first time. You would want them to know what you're about, right? So you're not going to go hashtag da da da, or these are the things I like. You don't go that way. You probably introduce yourself in a way that is interesting or that connects with you as a person, so that they come to know about you and they go like, oh, this person seems interesting, I would like to follow them, or they have the same things that I like, I would like to follow them.
Okay. So someone please take notes. So my first action item for today is for me to change my profile to make it more narrative and include Kocharia. Point taken. What else?
Also, how often do you actually post?
Whenever my dog does something cute or whenever I see some good food, very inconsistently. So I'm just thinking like, I tried posting every day like last week and I ended up with
So this is where
this
you'll
is
have to
this is
put on your
Fred's, by the way.
content creator hat, in the sense that when you see something interesting, or when you are actually something's happening that is interesting and you feel that this can go on your profile, you take a picture then, but don't post that way. In the sense, things don't need to be happening for you to post it then. It could have happened in the past, and you could create a story or narrative around it, and you can post it that way.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, Magda, I had another little tip. Zach, this is when it comes to your bio on the top. So if you could just scroll up. So Instagram has a setting where, under your name, you can literally include it's kind of like a designation. A post is what you want to come across as. You can either for you could say you're an entrepreneur, or for suppose someone's a musician, they can include that they're a musician, and I think that would be like something great for your profile.
Cool. Again, not on this one because it looks like features are limited on
right. No,
what should I call it?
Desktop,
okay.
Of course.
Okay, good call. I will add that. What else?
You can also probably start interacting more with people through stories, because that's something that a lot of people engage with these days. I mean, this is majorly for Instagram because, Instagram story.
No, keep talking. I'm just trying to find where my stories are.
I don't know if these guys would agree with me. I mean, Sylvester and Shania. I mean, I personally have seen that I am more on Instagram stories than I am on, like, I watch posts these days.
Me too. I agree with that.
Okay, so stories for reference are these things on top. And okay, so I've been trying. So since you told me this last week, I've been trying to post some more stories. Again, end up with like freaking animal videos for now, but I'll get better. But what's interesting / annoying is that all the other social networks now have this stories type feature. They just call them different things. And they don't always make sense in the context of other social networks. But the good thing is that many people have my attitude and they think they don't make sense, which means that there aren't as many posts on stories versions on Twitter and LinkedIn, for example, which means that you have more opportunity to break through. So my homework is to post stories more frequently, and perhaps post them on other social networks, not just Instagram.
I think one more good thing, so because we were mentioning stories, LinkedIn has stories as well, which is great because over there, if you have, say, for example, forms and stuff that you would want people to fill up, they can literally just scroll up and they don't even have to go to your website to do that. They can scroll up, land on the page, and actually fill up forms, which makes things so much more easier for the person who's probably interested in doing. Otherwise, there could be a lot of steps. So it kind of minuses that, and that way you can engage a lot more audience over there as well.
And I think we should do a blog post, at least on all the various tools, because we, for example, use one called Later, and there's a free version of that. There's another one called Hootsuite. There's also a free version of that, which lets you schedule things ahead of time once you get serious about your social media presence. But someone mentioned very rightfully in the comments that when you post on Instagram, for example, there is an option where you can link your other socials so that you can at the same time post to multiple networks. So you don't need another tool. You can just take your picture and post to Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest. I don't know about LinkedIn. I don't think LinkedIn is linked, but I don't remember. Anyway, no, not on later, on Instagram. So yeah, so you can do one post and post to several social networks. But just remember, if you're going to post to multiple social networks, people are going to engage with you possibly on the different social networks. So if you post from Instagram to Facebook and to Twitter, make sure that you pay attention to notifications so that if someone responds on Twitter or on Facebook and not on Instagram, you're interacting with them where they interact with you. Because otherwise it's going to be kind of, crappy if they're like, oh my gosh, what a cute dog Sailor is. And silence, crickets. That wouldn't feel very nice. And he's very handsome. So I'll put in the sites in here. So Hootsuite, and the other one is later. All right, what else?
So can you go down? So definitely we are changing your bio. That's okay. One step. Your picture is cute. Is nice.
Okay, my profile picture. Okay.
Okay.
What else?
So, like you mentioned, there are so many things that you like about, like you are interested in. What you could also do, other than just posting about your daily life, is that you could post about things that you care about or things that you like.
Okay.
You could also probably say, for example, you like animals, and if there are certain foundations that you're associated with, you could post about them. That kind of increases your reach, because that's kind of like cross marketing that you're doing to an extent.
Okay.
They come to know about you, you come to know about them, and you grow your community that way. So that's another.
Okay. I like that.
But yes, basically telling more people about things that you like, so that you can get more like-minded people to come to know you.
Cool. Shania, what were you going to say?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that, on all social media platforms, in fact, you find a lot of accounts that could probably post things about something that you're interested in. And sometimes, maybe just a quote or an event that they've had. And a lot of the times you can share those on your own platform. That just helps, create more engagement with your audience. As, if you could get into a conversation with someone about that, someone who'd also be interested in what you're sharing. So that's curious.
Fair enough. I don't think about that enough. I think again, let's talk about the comparing yourself to other people. I always think about myself like, oh yeah, like I don't have that many followers. Like who the hell cares? If I post about Paws Chicago, which is an amazing shelter that I did SEO work for and where I adopted animals out of and fostered animals out of, like if I post about it, who's going to see it? Like nobody, or not nobody, 500 people will see it. But I keep diminishing this in my own head. I don't really think about that. You know what? It's every little bit counts. Like it's just if I donate $5, it's better than donating $0. So same with social media. If I support them, maybe somebody else will also support them. Cool. So adding value to others.
This is probably where hashtags come into picture, because when you have the right hashtags, you get like-minded people. I know I follow so many hashtags about things that I like, and I've come across interesting, really cool profiles that I started following just through hashtags. So that is another very important thing. Can we have a look on any of your recent posts so that we can get an idea of the hashtags that we've used there?
Oh, hashtags. What hash? Oh, do I use a hashtag on this one? I did. This was my honesty post about feeling bloated in the morning. Aging disgracefully was my anyway.
So, the hashtags are really interesting. What I would like to know at this point of time is how many more people have actually used this hashtag, because then you would probably want to mix it up a bit. You would want to use some popular ones, like for example, hashtag aging, a pretty simple one.
Okay.
Oh, Nice.
No, I clicked on the hashtag. So this one is 6,500 people. I keep talking. I'm just going to keep clicking on hashtags so we can see things.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep talking.
Yes. So sometimes you want to mix it up between the hashtags that have a lot of posts versus the hashtags that do not have a lot of posts. Because what happens is when you have a hashtag that has a lot of posts, your post is going to get lost. Like, it will be like this momentary thing that people end up seeing. So you can create your own unique hashtags. Like hashtag Kocharya is something that we use all the time on all our social media platforms, because then if someone clicks on hashtag Kocharya, the major content that you'll end up seeing is ours. So if someone just decided to look up Kocharya, oh my God, look at that. Oh, they're so beautiful. Sorry, I got distracted. But yes, so mix it up. Use hashtags that are really common and well used, but also use hashtags that are not very common, or probably a hashtag that is just relevant to you. Like you could use hashtag Magda makes it. That could be your hashtag, and that could be a beautiful hashtag because that's so unique to you.
Magda makes it through her morning. No, I like that. And so what's cool on not all the socials, but on most of them, when you type in the hashtag and you start typing in the word, like for example, I did type in aging because I have a relationship with aging where I don't want it to happen. And so far I've been okay at it. But when you type in, aging, you can see a bunch of suggestions and it tells you how many people have shared that hashtag. So just the ones I clicked through as you were talking, there was one, the Helen Mirren one, aging disgracefully. She's my hero. There was only like 6,500, whereas Girl and Dog was I think 400,000. So I did try to mix it up because you told me to. So anything else?
Guys,
and let me just check the time because I think we're actually at the hour. So I kind of want to wrap things up because I don't think it's fair to keep everybody here. So can you anything else that you want to add into my profile quickly?
Experiment. Especially when you are just starting, experiment to see what's really working, because that's how you'll come to know. And don't feel shy about the kind of content you're putting, and be yourself, because that's really important. At the end of the day, we are people. Profiles are also people, so you want people to see who you are, and that's why they like you. So just be your authentic self and present yourself.
Be yourself because everybody else is taken. And when Nupur talks about trying and experimenting, it's not that you're taking a bunch of spaghetti and throwing it against the wall and hoping something sticks. Make sure that your bowl is filled with things that you think are actually going to stick, not just random spaghetti. So it's not that, I'm never going to start posting about, I don't know. I'm looking at my room, I'm like, yeah, I can probably post about everything. I'm not going to post about a nose job. I'm not getting a nose job. That's right. I'm never going to get a nose job. So I will never post about getting a nose job because I've got a big old proud Polish nose. So that's okay. You don't have to try that, even if you think it's going to get a lot of likes. So make sure that you be yourself because everybody else is taken, and post about things that you foreseeably could see yourself posting about more because you'll enjoy it, right? Because what's the point of doing something you don't enjoy? Social media should definitely be also something that you enjoy that also happens to help you grow your brand and grow your business. Yeah, so thanks everyone for sticking around. This was a bit of a mixed bag. So I think you got some good tips, and we have a lot more where that came from. So please, ping me on the socials, Magda Makes It, or email me, Magda@Kocharya, and with requests and ideas. And what we will do is we will keep track and get some short videos and blog posts and webinars going to help you with specific challenges that you have. So thanks for today.